BET is not even owned by black people. The Redstone family. They're Ashkenazi who own BET. And now look what's on BET. I mean, a lot of it's negative stereotypes and stuff like that. If black people own their own media, they wouldn't allow a lot of negative stereotypes even on there.
Hello and welcome to the YAAAMS Nation. I'm Cy. My background is in media analysis, and I focus on the black culture, stereotypes, and the black image in the media. Today, we'll be reacting to a video about some white guys speaking on BET, the ownership of BET. So I thought this was interesting coming from them. Okay, but before we get into it, remember this show right here? Y'all remember this show right here?
It's been great working with all of them and seeing you guys grow up, and I'm sure you'll all be successful. I also want to thank all of our faithful audience members. That's why we're all dressed like this. I'm Janet. Who are you?
I'm Jordan.
And the Teen Summer Posse is dressed the way they are. There's no rumor today on Teen Summit. We've got some great surprises coming your way. Stay right there because Teen Summit is next.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came on, I mean, everything stopped at 8 o'clock. No phone calls, no nothing. Whatever the conversation.
I like to hear that kind of
when
stuff.
The show came on. Because you were there before.
Yeah, I did one little spot on the card.
Man, they even had all the positive brothers. All the positive brothers from the TV shows. Only one missing right there was Urkel. Okay.
Oh, this is really a surprise, yes.
Hi, I'm an old Posse member, and I had a question for all of the original Posse members. I know you guys have seen producers and sets come and go. What are some of the major changes that you've seen in the show besides the physical ones?
Man, look how beautiful that young sister is. Just all natural. Nice-looking young lady. Natural. No fake hair. None of those butterfly eyelashes. Okay, I'm a baddie. I'm a baddie. Come on, man. This is how it used to be.
Crystal. The responses that we get from teenagers that we hear, because a lot of times I hear teenagers that say, you know, the show is really good, and they actually gain something from it. And that's when you feel like you're really doing something useful, when people can watch what you do and they really appreciate it and say, I like the show because we learn a lot. So I think that's something that's changed over the years, and we appreciate that.
Also knowing that more people our age are watching the show. I mean, like, earlier you would hear a lot from adults saying, you know, community leaders, like, this is a great show. But now, you know, we get fan mail, kids our age, even younger, you know, watch the show, and that's good to know that we're reaching our type of audience.
And then, too, it gives the public a chance to see that all teenagers, well, most teenagers are up to something good, and they're not so negative about, especially black teenagers nowadays. So I think since the beginning, this show has helped to bring up the image of the black teenager, especially the black man, because we talk about him a lot.
Oh, they broke that down. This is exactly how shows used to be. This is when Black Lives Matter in the media. This is when Black Lives mattered in the media, how they highlighted positive experience instead of all that negative stuff. Gave it a balance. Teenagers were learning, seeing themselves represented in a positive way. You see that audience? Just all beautiful young black people. No fluff, just real young people having a good time being positive. Okay, no gangsters, no baddies, none of that. Okay, but anyway, the whole point of this video is because of these white guys speaking on BET. Let's break that clip down right now.
BET is not even owned by black people. The Redstone family. They're Ashkenazi who own BET. And now look what's on BET. I mean, a lot of it's negative stereotypes and stuff like that. If black people own their own media, they wouldn't allow a lot of negative stereotypes even on there. Now let's go back to American black culture back like 1950s, 1960s.
There was a time I used to call it black embarrassment TV. But back in the day, they had a balance. They had a balance. Even though they focused on music and entertainment, they still had a balance. But this all changed when Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunication Act in 1996, which allowed bigger corporations to own the smaller ones, especially the black ones who were already getting the black tax. The black taxes where they didn't get paid the same in advertisement dollars as other companies. And you know it was about us because if you went to big cities like LA, New York, you would see other people owning their own channels, controlling their own channels. Spanish, you would hear channels in Spanish. You would hear Asians. But for us on a local level, we didn't have that. Other than some of the times you see like on public TV, you might see Farrakhan or doing some local stuff, but we never, like you see other people having channels where they producing their own shows. They never let us do that on a local level in the big cities. They wanted us on a national level so they can control it. They've always wanted to control our image, folks. So it's interesting to hear white dudes speaking like this, speaking about this topic. I mean, and they're breaking it down, how we break it down. What they're saying is nothing new, but it's amazing how that works.
They had very low divorce rates. They all dressed really nice. They were all polite and everything like that, you know, and with any culture. But everything started going downhill when they had somebody else take control over their media and started profiting off their own demise. Because I remember even hearing Kanye West talking about this, like 1990s. That's when all this like gangster stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And they had all these like self-demeaning music videos and everything like that. Missy Elliott and calling herself a bitch. They're all using the N-word and stuff like that. It's all like self-depreciation. But you have another group of people destroying somebody else's culture.
Thank you.
And making a ton of money in the process.
Right.
And that's not right.
And they're making them look bad.
BET and all that.
Making us look bad. That was the whole, that's so funny. Not only did they make us look bad and take us to on a whole nother direction, they made money off of it. Okay? That's when our image started to twist. Because there's always been gangsters. There's always been drug dealers. But that was a small portion. But they pushed them to the forefront and glamorized it to the point where young black men wanted to be thugs. They did this. I'm talking about the media. And BET could have been the leader in pushing another agenda. But the culture controllers picked what they wanted to produce. They flooded the airways with what they wanted to do, push. And that wasn't an accident. That was a pattern, a moment in the culture that became profitable for them, but unprofitable for us in terms of our image. That's not a culture decline. That's corporate engineering. Black people have no control over anything they do. You think Jay-Z control anything? He don't control anything. You think he wanted to pick Bad Bunny for a halftime show? Is that what you think? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
They should own their own media. Everyone should own their own media. But when you don't own your own media, that's when others get to exploit you for their own profit and to your own demise, man.
And they control you, basically.
And they control you. They control which way you vote and everything through that, too.
Exactly. The whole game right there. Those dudes was breaking it down how we break it down. But hearing from somebody else, that was awesome. They make you think black people is in control. The Oprahs, the 50 Cents, they have no control. They don't. Look at the CEOs from the music industry in the 1990s. The two biggest CEOs, P. Diddy and Suge Knight. Where are they right now if they had so much control? Because they wasn't doing anything any different than some of those other CEOs from the big corporations. But all these people, they're just puppets. They're front. They're placeholders. Like that woman in, remember that movie Boomerang? What's her name? Marcus. And Eddie Murphy thought she was the head of it. Lady Eloise, I think that was her name. Marcus thought she was the main person, but the board controlled everything. And that's what happens when you see all these black people. They don't run shit. They don't have any money, any power. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Because if they did, our image would be different if they really own something. So we need to take back control of our image, change the narrative, because we can do it. We just have to stop supporting some of this negative stuff that they push out there just because people black. All right, folks, I'm Cy. This is YAAAMS Nation, and that was The Breakdown.